Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and violin tutor. If the violin is shaking when you're trying to do vibrato, that is the number one sign that you are attempting vibrato too soon. Number one, the first thing you're going to need is a violin. I have been playing the violin since I was 4 years old. I went to university and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in music.
With the amazing talent that's Alison Sparrow. Alison, come out here.
So bear with me if there are any technical hitches, I'm sure it'll be fine. For about 5 years I was an examiner for the London College of Music. And over the years I've seen basically the music world from every kind of possible view really, and because of that it has enabled me to write my own violin course. Hello everyone, back. Well, so there we go, that's kind of all you really need to know. And don't forget guys, anyone can learn to play the violin. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. It's nice to see everybody here again. As usual, let me know where you are from and I'll give you a little bit of shout out later on. I've got a nice spider that's currently hanging from the ceiling randomly. Before we get into everything, as usual, I've got a 1 to 30 violin course. All the links are directly underneath. It guaranteed to take you from a complete beginner to a very decent accomplished intermediate player. All the details can be found here and all the links are underneath this video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about key signatures, as you know. Let me just get, there we go. We're going to be talking all about key signatures. So I thought what the easiest thing to do is if I talk about key signatures and everything that I think you need to know and all that kind of thing. It's not a particularly in-depth subject, but it can just be a little bit confusing, especially if you guys have got questions and they're those kind of specific type questions that you can't just type it into Google and ask Google a question because it's too random to sort of do that and you know you're not going to get the right answer. So I will just talk. I've prepared a lesson sheet here and I've got some visuals for you as well. So I will talk about the key signatures and I'll keep an eye on the chat box, whichever side that comes up for you. So if you've got any questions, put them in the chat box and I can ask them. You can ask them and I can answer them live. So let's just say hello to a few people first. Tracy, hello. Chris, hello. Jet, hello. Umint, hello. Sorry if I've mispronounced that. Deb, yay, hello. Christy, hello from Virginia. Same old regulars. Anmol, can't forget to say hello to you as well. Okay, so when we talk about the key signature of a piece of music, we are referring to the scale that is used to make up the melodies and chords of that piece of music. So all scales are, or pieces of music are just jumbled up forms of scales. So when we say a piece of music is in F major, or you ask someone and say, what piece of music is that in? And they say it's in F major. And you sort of think, well, brilliant. I mean, so what? What does that mean to you? Well, what that means to you is that when someone says a piece of music is in the key of F major, I mean, the sound that makes, it's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. It's only really irrelevant if you've got perfect pitch and you know the sound of an F or the F major scale in your head before it's even been played. So that part of it is a little bit irrelevant. It's what is irrelevant is what scale it matches to. Now, do you remember in all of my videos that I have practically done, I have always said to you, the better you are at scales and arpeggios, the better musician you are overall. So if you can play all of your scales and arpeggios, you can play any piece of music ever written, you know, more or less. So if you know the scale of F major, then you will know that it starts on an F. So obviously we've got F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and F. So we've got 7 notes in a scale, but obviously the 8th note is the repeat of the bottom note. So F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and then F. So we've got 8 there. But so what? So what that means to you on the violin is that when we think of the key of the key of F major, we know, we have to remember. So we look it up and then we remember and we know that F major has got a B flat in it. So that means the F is just a normal F. F, G is normal, A is normal, B is now B flat, and I'll explain what all this means in a second. Then we've got a normal C, a normal D, a normal E, and back to a normal F again. Now on the violin, that will mean to you, now if we've got an F, we've got a normal F, then we know that our second finger is going to be back next to the first finger. It isn't going to be stretched next to the third finger, it's going to be back next to the second finger. When we're playing a G, the G is going to go on the third finger dot as normal. The next note, we've got an open A, so that's fine, or a fourth finger on the D string, whichever is easier for you. The next note we've said is a B flat. Now, if we just put the first finger down where we normally put it down, it's going to be the wrong note, and then we're not in the key of F anymore, we're in the key of I don't know what kind of key. It will just not sound right. So when we're playing our first finger for the B flats, then we want to be pushing that finger back as far as it will go to create a B flat. Then the next note we've got is a C, so it's just a normal C, so it's going to be next to where the first finger would normally go. Then we've got a D with the third finger, that's normal position. Then we've got an open E or a fourth finger, and then we've got an F. Now the F on the E string is going to be back as far as it will go. Remember, the F on an E string, that we put down with our first finger is actually an F sharp. So if we want an F natural or a normal F, whichever you want to call it, it's going to be back. So in the same place that you put that B flat. So that's what a key means to you. So if something is in the key of F major, we're not going to be playing C sharps, we're not going to be playing D sharps, E flats, whatever it is, we're going to be playing G flats, G sharps, A flat. We're not going to be playing any of those. We're going to be playing all those normal notes: F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. Now that is what that means to you when someone says something is in the key of F major. So for me, I will instantly think, this happens very quickly for me obviously, but in my head I have flashed up the scale of F major, so I can see F major coming up in front of me. I know this sounds a bit mental, but I see F major coming up in front of me, and the first thing I think is second fingers are back for the F and the C, and also don't forget to play a B flat or it's going to sound a little bit weird. So if you have a look at this, this chart here is all of the key signatures, so I can't point myself in front of it, but if you have a look at where have we put F major there? Oh, there we go. So F major is here, this one here, but in the middle there. So we've got one flat with F major. So these are all the scales that we've got, and all the relative minors, or the minor scales that go with that key signature. So if you look at C major, and there's no sharps or no flats in C major, so it's a normal C, a normal D, normal E, normal F, normal G, normal A, normal B, and a normal C. And the minor scale that accompanies that key signature, i.e. no sharps and no flats, is A minor. Now I know the question that you're going to be coming up with, and that's probably maybe something I might talk about today in today's video, but I know you're going to say that isn't there a G sharp in A minor? And there is, but that might be a subject for another day because it might get a little bit confusing. Perhaps I just want to talk about this, but let me know if that part is confusing you with minors specifically, because I know that in America we have harmonic minors. Let me move over this side so you can see me. We have harmonic minor scales and melodic minor scales, and in America you have natural minor scales. Now we don't do natural minor scales in the UK. They don't really have any relevance. I'll make it into perhaps another video because I think this is just going to get probably quite confusing. So for now, if you look at the first one, you'll see that C major has no sharps or no flats, and A minor is the relative minor or the accompanying minor that also does not have any sharps and flats in its key signature. Now let's just go with that for the moment, and we'll talk about sharps and flats in minor keys, probably in another video, maybe next week's video, as it might roll on quite nicely from this one. Then if you look at G major, that has 1 sharp, and the corresponding minor scale to that is E minor, and so on and so forth. So that is the chart there. Now, if we look at this example here, so you can see the C major scale. So this one here at the very top here, this is what a C major scale looks like. So a song in the key, or a piece of music in the key of C major, is based on the notes of the C major scale. So this scale that we've got here at the top there, any piece of music which is in this key is going to be a jumbled up form of each of these notes. So do you remember I said earlier, when someone says to you, oh, a key is in the piece of F major, and you go, well, brilliant, what does that mean? Well, now you know what it means. So if someone says something's in the key of C major, you instantly must think of the scale that it's with. So if you are not playing your scales, guys, you have to go and play your scales, because if you do not play your scales, they are very, very good for, so you can see me, they are very, very good for helping you with your intonation, various techniques and all that kind of jazz. But also they are to help the theory side of things. So if you don't know what, wrong one. So if you don't know what those things mean, then, or if you don't know what those scales mean and how they are written down on paper, if you like, then it's gonna be so much harder for you to relate to anything when you're playing the music. So the scale that you've got here, the C major scale, the piece of music in C major that you're gonna play is just a jumbled up form of all of these notes. And that's it. So in that piece of music, you're going to have normal C, normal D, normal E, normal F, normal G, normal A, normal B, and normal C. Now, that's not to say that you may get the odd 1 or 2 extra sharp or flat in there, because not all pieces like to stay around the C major scale. Some of them like to kind of just pop off into other directions, and that's fine. Otherwise, if a piece of music was just kept solely in the C major scale, for example, or whatever key it was in, F major or whatever, then it would just be a little bit boring. So you will get some extra sharps and flats, but they won't necessarily be in, wrong way, you won't necessarily be in that C major scale, but it just adds a little bit, of variation. So if you have a look at the, I keep going the wrong way. It's because the video I'm looking at is backwards to the sheet that I've got up here, so I keep thinking it's the other way. So if we look at this G major scale, which is right here, so a piece of music in a G major scale is based on, a piece of music in the key of G is based on this G major scale that you've got here, and you can see in the G major that there is now an F sharp. Now you've got a normal G, a normal A, a normal B, normal C, normal D, normal E, an F sharp, and a G. So if you look at the, we're going this way. So if you look at this piece of music here, or this little kind of sample here, now you can see this is also in the key of G. So this is all based around the scale of G. Now it's all those notes that you saw here, but they're just all muddled up here, and obviously with different note lengths to create whatever tune this tune is creating. But if you notice, there are some F sharps written in there, and they've all been circled. Now, wouldn't it just be easier if we wrote it like this? So the difference being is that what we've done is that just here, I think actually my thing is in front of me, if I can just show you, just here, you've got the key signature. Now in the key signature, you've got an F sharp. Now what we do is we write the sharps and flats in the key signature so that we don't have to keep clogging up the music, and we don't have to keep putting sharps and flats in it. So it just means that there aren't so many sharps and flats written in the music, and it's a lot easier. So to get around this, what we do is to put in the key signature. And if I show you this example here, so this is a piece of music called Chanson de Matin by Elgar. Now let me get this the right way around. So if you look at this one here, so I have put this last night, I put this piece of music in the key of C sharp. So no one would ever play anything in the key sharp. That's just crazy talk. No one does that because it's silly and it's crazy difficult, and it's just it's just plain stupid. So nobody is daft enough to play anything in the key of C sharp. But if you are unlucky enough to get a piece that is, this is what it looks like. Now, can you see how horrendous that looks? I mean, I know this is only the first page, but look at how many sharps and double sharps, and I mean, I don't know what is going on. There is no way my brain would be able to look at that and really decipher what that is. I mean, it would be confusing for me anyway, because I'm not used to seeing that. I'm just used to seeing a key signature like you would have up here. And I know that's C sharp major, and I think to myself, what's the C sharp major in my head? This is all turning around very quickly. And then I think, right, C sharp major, 7 sharp, everything is going to be sharp, just everything, which means all fingers are stretched, everything, no open strings, everything is basically sharp. So if we are looking at this piece here, so this is what we don't want to be seeing. So this is Chanson de Matin in the key of C sharp major, okay, but there are no sharps in the key signature. So this is what you're looking at. You cannot look at this, it's too much. Now you look at this one, and I've put C sharp major in the key signature, which we can see here, and look how much tidier the piece of music looks. So these two are both exactly the same piece of music, but one is tidier than the other. So this one is much better than this one. There are some extra sharps and flats in this one, of course, only purely because I have put it in the key of C sharp major just to prove a point to you, because I wanted to show you how messy this one would be without doing that. So that is sort of it really with the key signatures. I mean, what else is there that everybody wants to know about key signatures? Type something to me, let me know. Or does that explain everything? Let me get rid of those pieces of music. So these are all the key signatures. Key signatures is, like I say, it's just one part of kind of theory and things, but everything just kind of accumulates from that and leads on from that. So I don't know, is there anything that you guys have questions with that is confusing you about the key signature? But I think the bottom line with key signatures, let me get rid of that so I can talk to you properly. So I think the bottom line with key signatures is that is really all they are. So the key signatures are having those sharps and flats in the front of the piece of music, so that it eliminates all of this nonsense that we have going on here. So for example, this one, wrong way again. This one has the key signature in, this one does not have the key signature in, and you can see how messy this one looks and how tidy this one looks. So that's all it is. So when you come to thinking of a key signature, you need to think of it as the corresponding scale. Now, when you are learning the violin, and whether you are learning from my course or from a teacher or another online course, whatever it is that you are learning from, you will find that the scales that you learn, or you should be learning scales, and if you're not, then maybe find another course, but the scales that you are learning will go hand in hand with the key signatures that you are doing at that time. So if you look again at these key signatures here, so the main ones you're going to be doing, starting from the first one, is C major, G major, and D major. They're the three main ones that I give students that are just starting out. Now, if you look on the middle row, you can see just